Welcome back, everyone, to this Drunk Bible Study bonus episode. What did we just do? 109? Was that 109, 108?
Uh-huh.
What did we do?
That was
Somewhere
108.
in the early 100s.
Yeah.
108,
Yeah.
108. Okay, 109 is going to happen next. Yeah. Yeah, so 2 Samuel, it's moving on in the world. The Ark of the Covenant has made a comeback. And there's 2 guys named Nathan. And I was like,
I've never
who are
heard
these
of a
boys?
better synopsis of the beginning of 2 Samuel.
That's all that's happened, actually.
Yeah.
No, David is rising to power. He's like finally a king now, right? Is that what happened? Yeah, he was a king.
He's now the king
he
of
was a big
all
old
of it.
king.
That happened in this last
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, did they kill the other king, the 2-year king, the brief king?
Ishbosheth?
Yeah.
Oh, Ishbosheth.
Ishbosheth.
Yes.
Yeah, your favorite word to say, Jace.
Right. Remember there were those
Ishbosheth.
those men who were both leaders of bands who came and cut off his
those
head.
bands.
The Band of Boys.
Band of Boys, yes.
Yeah.
And then they brought it to David and he killed them because he doesn't like it. He didn't
Yeah.
like it. It was a bad gift.
Nope. Yeah, it was a terrible gift. So he's like, I'm going to kill you because you gave me the worst gift ever.
Exactly.
Yeah, so David had a lot of kids, and I think I talked about in the last bonus episode that some people think that he had like 91 kids or something, which is ridiculous. But we heard about, I don't know, what do you think, like 15 of them, like by name?
So
Oh,
far,
yeah.
Talked about- yeah.
That's a good
Maybe.
rough approximation.
sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of these kids was named Nathan. And then, in, where was it? Samuel.
Basically like 2 verses later.
Yeah, it was like, what does this say? 2 Samuel 7:4 to 17.
Mhm.
A passage known as Nathan's Oracle. They talked about this other guy named Nathan who is an advisor to David, and he's a prophet. And I was like, wait a minute, is that his son? Is that his son, Nathan? And it's apparently not the same person. Although, I will say, yes, okay, there are instances in the Hebrew Bible where the name Nathan is mentioned, but it is unknown whether it is referring to Nathan the prophet or Nathan the son of David.
Oh, dang
Which is
it.
really annoying. I'm like, great. It's like,
So this is
couldn't
going
you
to
get
go
a
on.
different name for these 2 men? Like, couldn't you have named him a different thing? I
Right.
don't
So we're
know.
going to stay confused, though, is what you're saying.
For sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Absolutely. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about each of them just very briefly. But Nathan, we're gonna call him Nathan A and Nathan 1. Okay, just so that we're not like
Which
ranking
one's
them.
Which?
So Nathan, let's do this. Nathan A is the son of David.
Okay.
A for son of David. And Nathan 1 is the prophet because he's like close to God, I think. Like,
Okay,
he's number one.
Number
close
one,
to
close
God.
to God. Okay, I think
Yeah.
I can
Okay.
do that.
But we
Okay.
don't want
And
to
just-
rank them. We don't want to rank them. So, okay. So I'm going to discuss Nathan 1, the prophet, momentarily. Okay.
Okay.
So he was a court prophet who lived in the time of King David. He's introduced in 2 Samuel 7:2. And apparently in Chronicles, he'll be in that too, but we're not there yet. He's an advisor to David with whom David reflects on the contrast between his own comfortable home and the tent in which the Ark of the Covenant is accommodated. So, yeah,
Right.
then he talks with them about maybe I should build a nice, big, awesome place to put the Ark for God. And, yeah, that's cool. So, I don't know. Oh, he has a feast day. This
Nathan does.
Nathan the prophet on the
Nathan
24th of
won.
October. Nathan
Nathan
won.
won?
Yeah,
Okay.
Nathan won the prophet. He has a day of feast on the 24th of October in
Does that-
the Eastern Orthodox Church.
Okay.
Does that mean he's a saint in the Eastern Orthodox Church?
Yeah. Yes. Yes, he is. There it is.
Wow.
Those Eastern Catholic churches, which follow the Byzantine Rite, he is commemorated as a saint on the Sunday of the Holy Fathers.
Okay. Wow.
Great.
Happy
Awesome.
St. Nathan's Day.
Yeah. So,
When was it? October?
October 24th.
Okay, great.
Yes.
Put that on
Yes.
the calendar to remember to celebrate that this year.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so Nathan A for the son of David. He's the son of David and Bathsheba, but we haven't heard about Bathsheba yet.
Oh, we're going to get to Bathsheba.
He might have
at the
multiple
next
sons named
episode.
Nathan then.
He may.
I can't do this if he has multiple sons named
So
Nathan.
then that means
Okay.
the one we've already seen then has to be Nathan A1, and then the next one will be
wait,
Nathan
hold on.
A2.
Unless they're doing that thing where they're kind of skipping ahead a little bit, like how they're like David Rain for 40
Yeah,
years. And we're just like,
yes.
these are all his sons that he has had, is currently having, and
Or
will
will
have in
have.
the future.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Dedeker because I can't handle another Nathan. There are already too many. Okay. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Oh, he's the older brother of Solomon, who y'all said is going to become important. But yeah, I can't talk about him yet. So,
No, not yet.
no. Well, crap. All of this stuff about Nathan, I can't really talk about because it goes into Jesus and Luke.
Oh, yeah.
and
Then you
the
got
New
to stop.
Testament.
You got to
Yeah.
stop before you get to the
All right,
Jesus.
fine. Well, now you know. Now you know that they're not the same person. They're not the same person. Nathan was a prophet in the Bible. That one guy. Oh, what is this? The Nathan, the biblical name, the baby name, means given, giving, or rewarded.
Oh, that's nice.
All right. That's all I got.
That's pretty good. Okay, well, I at least know that we have a mnemonic for keeping the Nathans apart. And
Yes.
at least have some reference points for when we have to guess whether it's Nathan A or Nathan 1.
Yeah. I'm assuming we're going to mostly be talking to Nathan 1, but what do I know? I
Who
can't.
knows?
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe Nathan A will become a really big deal.
All right.
I still
so-
think that there's multiple sons named Nathan. I'm
Geez,
still in
I'm
that
not going
camp.
to go there. Okay, I can't go there. I can't. I
We're
have enough.
in denial first.
Yes, I have a hard
we'll be
enough
in
time
denial
keeping
until we cannot.
Saul, Samuel, and David apart.
Yeah. All right.
They don't have the same names.
And then Solomon's going to come into the picture, and it'll just
Oh,
add more
great.
confusion to the mix.
Yeah, they need to find another name other than an S name.
Now, Solomon was born already, right? He was one of the ones that was in that list, wasn't he?
He's in that list, but we don't know if that list is a list for all time or a list at that time.
Because it's certainly not 91 kids.
No, it's
Well,
not.
not yet. I'm assuming we're going to get many more lists until they equal 91 at the end.
Okay.
Well,
I
then
don't
you
know.
can add them all up and feel good about yourself.
What do you have, Dedeker?
I will.
I want to talk about Richard Gere.
Oh,
Great. I'm excited. I loved
right.
doing First Night.
Yeah. Richard Gere, what a charmer in the mid 90s.
Yeah. Great hair. Great hair.
Great hair, great nose, great eyes. Just a keeper. Okay, so I'm gonna set the scene that it's July of 1978, and Michael Eisner. We all know Michael Eisner.
Yeah, I work
Yeah.
for Disney. I know Michael
Yeah.
Eisner.
Yes, yeah. Well, in 1978, he was actually at Paramount. Believe it or not.
Well,
Not at
yeah, he was
Disney.
really young back then. Michael
Uh-huh.
Eisner
Yeah,
was like
and-
the 90s Disney king.
Yeah. So he's just like a little baby boy working his way up in Paramount. No, it sounds like he was in a position of power back then because he said he
Wow.
wanted the studio to specifically make a biblical film.
Oh,
around
I
then.
see.
Got it.
Okay.
And the studio was really attracted to particularly a King David script
Huh.
because they thought that it paralleled Star Wars pretty well with David
So-
as a Luke Skywalker figure and Samuel as an Obi-Wan Kenobi figure. That's the extent of the parallels that I can see, but maybe we can look at this a little bit more in depth.
Okay.
It is kind of funny that we came
I
to Star
know.
Wars and they also came to Star Wars.
But we
Yeah, but not
had
in the
very
same way.
different archetypes. Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Although, to be fair, Kylo Ren didn't exist yet for these people.
Yeah, we kind of messed up the timeline there,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
Well, and also that King David for us was the one who is not a Star Wars because he's a Winter Soldier, right?
No.
But he's a Winter
yeah.
Soldier because Winter Soldier looks like a young Mark Hamill.
Oh, you're right. So
Is
he is
why.
still Luke. Okay, fine. He's
Yeah,
still Luke at the end.
essentially. Yeah.
Okay.
So the studio's super jazzed about this King David script. Well, they like the story, actually. They don't actually like the script. So they bring in a script writer, Andrew Birkin, to kind of work on the screenplay. And Andrew Birkin has this really funny quote where he's like, I found the brutality of the Old Testament hard to take. It was hard to make God a hero. I'm like,
Yeah, that's
Truer words have never been spoken.
Seriously.
yeah. He also goes on to
Goodness.
explain that it was also hard to write a film about, as he puts it, our late lamented imperialists. like saying the fact that this is not like the
Yeah.
Ten Commandments where it's like these downtrodden people who've been enslaved that we're rooting for. It's like, no, this is David, who's a king, who's just kind of carving out an empire
Yeah.
and
That's a really
killing
good
a bunch
point.
of fools.
Yeah, I mean, they are not part of the resistance by any means, like Luke Skywalker is. Unfortunately, they are more the Empire in this scenario.
So then does that mean that David should actually be what? Like a young Palpatine? Or like what? Like who's sort of
I don't
forming the
know.
Empire?
I don't
No,
know.
I guess not, that would be even before Palpatine, huh? We never really get to see that part of the story when the Empire's... No, I guess that is Palpatine, right? He's the one who sort of forms the Empire?
That is the story.
That is the
the
story.
Yeah.
Yes.
So maybe
Definitely does.
Saul is Palpatine then, and David would be whoever came after Palpatine. I don't know who that would be.
No, it's always been Palpatine, like in various forms. It was Palpatine and then the Emperor.
Right, and then there's like Calamity Palpatine.
Okay, I'm gonna bring
and-
us back
okay.
to Richard Gere. I'm bringing us back to Richard
All right, Richard
Gere.
Gere.
Okay,
Richard Gere.
yeah.
So they bring on Bruce Beresford to be the director for this big epic King David film. They cast a bunch of American actors, of course.
Love that.
Beresford was not happy about Richard Gere being cast in the lead.
Really?
And there was constant tension about that on set,
What's wrong with-
apparently.
What's wrong with Richard Gere?
I
I
guess,
guess he was quite young then.
well, the director also wanted him more of an unknown actor. He thought
No,
that
he'd
he'd
done that one movie by then. What was it?
Not First Night.
No, that was in the 90s.
Uh-huh.
He had like one really big film back in the 70s. I'll figure it out, but keep
Okay.
going.
Okay.
Yeah, so he wanted more of an unknown actor and thought that Richard Gere just did better in contemporary stuff. And supposedly Richard Gere was kind of forced upon him by the producers.
He was a very contemporary Lancelot. I'll give that
That's
guy
true.
that.
That's true.
Yeah, he does have a sort of a modern day sort of vibe about him. I mean, modern day in the 90s, that is.
So they start filming in Europe in 1985. It was a difficult shoot. The director came down with a virus. Richard Gere came down with a virus. The extras
Whoa.
went on strike.
Wow. Okay.
There were so many
Goodness.
drafts of the script. Gere also, again, like I said, knew that he was not really welcomed by the director. And so the director would just like do what he wanted in the scenes that Richard Gere wasn't in. And Richard Gere would just do whatever the heck he wanted to do in his scenes. And
Gosh.
there's this quote. This is an anonymous quote, just according to one report. The film ended up as a multi-million-dollar joke that everyone thinks is funny, except for the people who made it and the Paramount investors. So, it...
So did it not do well then? Is that...
It did not do well.
I see.
Well, I've never
New-
heard of it.
The New York Times called it, quote, not a good film.
Thank you for that beautiful just analysis, New York Times. Okay.
And then years later, Bruce Beresford was like still throwing Richard Gere under the bus, of just saying like, yeah, like there were a lot of things wrong in that film, and I really think Richard Gere was miscast. It was all his fault. So anyway,
Gosh.
I remember watching this film as a child. And
Why?
I did not put it together that it was Richard Gere because I don't know, biblical films were on in my house sometimes
Yeah.
when I was growing up,
Right, makes
like
sense.
you do, because
Yeah.
it makes sense. For some reason, you think like this is safe for the kids to watch, even though the story of David's pretty gruesome. And so I remember this particular scene that we're going to watch, which is the scene of David dancing. It's Richard Gere dancing.
American Gigolo, that's what it is. It was in
What is-
1980.
What?
He was this was his big film. He did Pretty Woman in 1990, but American Gigolo was like the big thing that put him on the map. He was very hot in it. The end.
Really? I've never
And then-
seen it. I don't know anything about it.
I don't
So
know.
he was like
it was a
sandwiched
1980 movie.
between prostitution films. It was like prostitution
apparently.
film, King David, prostitution film.
There you go. That's I
Wow.
mean that makes sense that they weren't, jazzed about him doing a biblical film.
Okay.
He's a
All right.
Los Angeles male escort. There you go. Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
There you go.
Brilliant.
I got it. Done. Go.
Right. So, for our listeners, there's going to be some voiceover in this. And then once it gets to the dancing, we are going to do our best to paint for you a word picture
Oh gosh,
of
I'm
what
excited.
is happening on screen. And then I guess maybe in our Drunk Bible Study Fans and Fellowship, we can post a link to this video so that you can check that out. Okay.
Beautiful.
Here we go.
You mountains of Gilboa, let there be no dew or rain upon you, for there the life of Jonathan is vilely cast away. From the blood of the slain, the bow of Jonathan held not back, and the sword of Saul returned not empty. In life and in their death, they were not divided. They were swifter than eagles, stronger than lions.
Wow.
You daughters of Israel,
He's very beardy.
Are you? He's a
that's
very beardy
a
boy.
lot of- oh my.
clothed
Yeah,
you
now
in
he's
scarlet and
disrobing.
ornaments
David is
of gold.
disrobing.
Took it off.
My brother Jonathan, thy love to me was wonderful.
And is this
How
Richard
are the
Gere
mighty
narrating?
fallen?
I don't know. I can't tell.
I
The
don't think
weapons
so.
of war perished.
Okay.
I noticed that they cut out the line about his love being more intense than that of women.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, here we go.
Dang, it's a cool set.
Yeah, they have a huge set with like stairways going all over between huts and buildings. Hey, it's the instruments we talked about. I don't see any castanets though,
Oh,
know.
are there no castanets, huh?
but there's cymbals. You can hear them.
Whoa, he is running and throwing his hands in the air and jumping. Like with joyousness.
The funniest thing I find about this scene is that Richard Gere is. Oh, there's Michal. Michal's pissed about it.
She's
so
like,
embarrassed.
Yeah.
Ew.
The funniest thing I find about this scene is that there's all these extras. It's a huge scene. There's probably like 2,000 extras here, and David is the only person who seems to be having a good
This
time.
is the word of the Lord.
Like they're
of
all
hosts.
straight-faced, just standing
I
still.
took you from the pastures
If you saw this guy doing this back then, would you
to be
be
prince over my
straight
people
faced?
Israel. I have been
Oh,
with you wherever you have
Star
gone,
of David.
and
Wait,
have destroyed all the enemies in your path.
is the Star of David like a
I will
thing
make you
yet?
a great name among the great ones
That's a
of
good
the
question.
We should look that
earth.
up.
I will assign a place for my people in Israel. There I will
I'm assuming
plant
it's
them.
about this
They
David.
shall dwell in their own
Right.
land.
Yes.
He's the biggest David.
So I
Who
will
that?
say,
Is that
I
right?
mean,
Or what's her name?
I don't know who that is.
Abigail?
I don't have enough context. I think it's Abigail. I will say though that if I ever had a question in my mind of like what it would be like to do an ecstatic dance with Richard Gere, and now I know that like this is what it would look like.
Be a lot of
I'm
jumping
pretty sure-
around, throwing your arms
I'm pretty sure
around.
they did not choreograph this. I'm pretty sure they were just like, Rich, do your thing. Just
do
make it up
it.
as you go.
I don't want you to be in this movie, but like I really need you to like act like I do, and like you're really excited to be here. Go.
And he's doing this. It's important to note that he's doing all of this in like just a loincloth.
Oh yeah,
So he's quite Nakos this whole time.
he did it.
You did it.
Is that the tabernacle?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, they're bringing the ark to the tabernacle.
Sweet.
Yeah. Anyway, that's about it.
That was
Wow.
awesome.
Yeah, I'll make sure to post this link in the Drunk Bible Study fans and fellowship group so people can check it out.
Yeah, y'all want to see that for sure. That was awesome.
Yeah, I also found a version of this video after we recorded where it's this scene, so it's the same video that we just watched, but with music over it instead. That's the song Dance Like David Danced, or I Will Dance Like David Danced, which is what's funny is I guess I never really put together this whole story as a kid, because I remember that being a refrain, like I will dance like David danced, but I never really knew where it, like why that was worth saying, like what that meant, I guess. So anyway, yeah, that was just sort of something interesting that I noticed, is like, oh, I guess the point of it is that it's like I'm so into God that I'm going to dance in this way that's embarrassing and not feel bad about it. And that was totally lost on me as a kid.
Oh, really? What do you think it meant?
I don't know. I guess that he was a good dancer. But
I mean, you're not
clearly he
allowed
was
to
not,
dance
so-
in, like Footloose. Like, I'm surprised that you're able to dance here. But I guess that was Christianity, not Judaism.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I
Exactly.
think the Jews, my understanding of the Jews is they're pretty okay with dancing,
Okay.
I mean,
Sweet.
yeah, it seems to be
historically.
a thing that they've been doing in these stories. It doesn't seem to be
Yeah.
a problem.
No, I guess you're right.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
Wow. All right. Well, this was exciting, and I'm excited to keep going on and see what happens now that David is king. And I'm predicting we're just going to see more and more of David kind of turning into a bad guy. And I'm actually going to take it a step further, and I'm going to predict that it's going to happen to all of our kings. That they're all, no matter how good they start out, they're all going to become at least a little bit bad just by being king. Because absolute power corrupts absolutely.
And that
There
would
you
bring
go.
things full circle where Samuel was like, you sure you want a king? Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to give you a king. You're going to be sorry. That makes sense.
You knew.
Yeah. Yeah, it all fits together. All right, well, we will see you all next week for the next episode of Drunk Bible Study.